Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we are back again with another Alliance War. This is War 11, so the Alliance War season is nearly finishing. And this time as an Alliance we actually had a really good war against the ASR. I think it was pretty much one of our better wars this season because, well, everybody chipped in. There were pretty much no silly deaths. I didn't check the final score at the very end, but for most part we I think got to about 100 and something kills with like no deaths or one death somewhere. So yeah, we were doing really well in this war. And I'm starting out on path 8. I actually haven't pretty much never or hardly ever done path 8, and after that I'm gonna have one very dodgy fight, but again, the war went relatively fine. I did what I had to do, but there's going to be one very weird fight, and only after the fight had concluded I realized what was going on in that fight. So anyway, so this is the power imbalance node that I'm going to be going up against, and that is Silver Surfer. So against Silver Surfer, relatively well boosted Dr. Doom at rank 3 6-star shouldn't have too much of a problem, so I didn't expect this fight to be anything tricky or whatever, and yeah, it really wasn't. As we see here, just go for a combo, drop a heavy attack, drop a full-on combo, because why not? I'm gonna drop my level 1, nullify his power cosmic buff. Now he has pretty much nothing and he can do nothing. Go for a nice little cheeky slap there, and then I'm gonna push to my level 3 because that's what Dr. Doom does. I think Dr. Doom is one of those champions who has a really cool special 3, but you're definitely kind of, at this point, if you have had him for a while, really wishing you could skip that special 3 animation, because man, if you have done Abyss of Legends with Dr. Doom, you have definitely seen that special 3 like 2000 times or whatever. But yeah, so basic Dr. Doom cycle here, level 3, level 1 into level 2, drop that level 2, and Silver Surfer goes down. Next fight, I'm going to be going up against Warlock, and next time, if I'm going to do this fight again, I will 100% definitely try and remember to remove the willpower. Because here we have this buff imbalance, power drain and whatnot, and that's actually going to be messing with me the entire fight, because that's a debuff that's placed on you, and whenever you do try to heal, if you do have infection on you, you will be losing power, and whenever you lose power, and even due to this buff imbalance node, I'm losing power, and I'm pretty much spending the entire fight into the degeneration like mode. And actually I got a bit freaked out. I did not see this interaction coming. It's a very cheeky one, because even though you're not losing power due to Warlock's abilities, just the simple fact that you are losing power consistently triggers that degeneration. And you can see that I'm basically taking damage over time all fight. And I was trying to push to level 3, and then that wasn't really kind of working out, and then I decided just later on, after a while, I should have done it earlier on. If there's one big thing that I would have wanted to change, I definitely would have just dropped like my level 3 quite a bit earlier on, in order to armor break him and maybe get a crit in and do some significant amount of damage. Because as we can see here, even though I'm taking consistent damage over time, I'm still kind of leading when it comes to the health pool. But now I dropped that level 1, 2 armor breaks, and one of those, the last hit, crit there, and yeah, that pretty much finished this fight. So yeah, very good placement, very cheeky interaction. Definitely would have wished to remove some willpower or just bring in different champion altogether. I did not see that coming, and that was quite cool. And this is going to be the dodgiest fight ever. Now, I'm taking it with the Resistor active, just because I also kind of had the plan to perhaps try and spam the heavy attack with Dr. Doom. Now, it has Matador and that power imbalance node, but for most part, I didn't think that Chorus will provide me with much trouble, if at all. And initially, my plan was kind of working quite well. We can see that I drop a hit there, and because of Resistor node, there's always a buff to nullify, so I do trigger that, and a shock gets reapplied, and everything's going well. And here, again, I'm just kind of like trying to do the same thing, and fight is pretty much perfect here. I'm consistently getting those power drain debuffs on me though. There I get parried, I eat a couple of hits. But here we can see one thing that's gonna change everything. Whenever I knock him down, his glaive charges get disabled. And whenever his glaive charges reactivate, they actually remove that shock. I don't know why he did not get shocked there. That is a definite mystery to me. And here it was again my fault because he regained his glaive and the shock disappeared. So I was quite confused at that point in the fight, and again that shock disappeared as the glaive was going away, and I didn't quite understand what was going on over there. But at this point already, with that low HP, I decided just not to risk it. I'm just gonna use my regular combos, do nothing else, and chip him down. So I basically stopped throwing my heavy attacks because they never seemed to be going through. Later on, obviously, I realized the flaw in the strategy with the glaive charges, and it was quite silly. And I'm happy that I kind of like stopped pushing for it before it was too late. And obviously, that will cost me some potions, but luckily, I did not die. Not the brightest moment in Alliance War, but still, I didn't die. It worked out. Finished the fight like regularly. So before going to Tier 2, I did heal up my team with a couple of potions, team potions. Now up against Tigra here, there's nothing really to worry about when using Dr. Doom, because obviously you don't care about Tigra's power. You never have a fear of getting cornered because you have very potent power drain abilities, and no matter what she does, you're pretty much fine. She has that vigor active. It's like not a big deal. She's healing up for a bit, but still, as soon as I'm gonna get to my level 3, everything's gonna be just fine. I'm gonna get that big fury, and yeah, she's gonna be stunned. I'm gonna go from my level 1 into level 2 probably, or we'll see where it leads. But as soon as I get my level 3, the fight with Dr. Doom is pretty much over. Rank 3 Dr. Doom against rank 5 Tigra, there is not too much of a, opportunities to mess up because the fights are over quite quickly. So here we can see level 1, she's at 13%. I'm just gonna drop my level 2, and that's a done deal. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special. Now I do have a couple more fights in this war. Next up is gonna be Iron Man Infinity War, and for this fight, quite often I like using Warlock, because Warlock is absolutely fantastic against Iron Man Infinity War because he has that non-contact medium hit, which when you parry lets you power drain him, and overall obviously Warlock has quite a great time against that guy. But in this case, just to be kind of like extra safe, I chose to use Magneto, because to die with Magneto to Iron Man Infinity War in Alliance War, it's not that easy. Again, I'm going to start making some silly mistakes towards the end, which is not too great, which is purely because I got greedy, because I wanted to double up some provinces. For most part, you can see that I'm playing just fine here. Reparries on point, dropping my heavy attacks, doubling up my provinces, everything's going just perfect. And in my back of my mind, I just know for a fact that as soon as I get level 3, this fight is over. Unfortunately, there I start kind of like messing about. I got parried, and obviously Magneto against metals is quite tanky, and there I got too greedy. I tried to hold my heavy attack for too long, got armor broken, and there I'm just again throwing my heavy attack into there, and I ended up losing more health than it definitely more health than I should have, just because I was being careless and silly, I suppose. But again, as I said before, get to that level 3, and the war fight is over. Next up is Guilty in 2099, and she's a metal champion, and despite everything else that this node might do to me, Magneto is obviously gonna shred that guillotine like nobody's business, really. Might not be the most straightforward, simplified, but just parry heavy, do your thing, and everything's gonna work out, is how I think about this fight. So, but at this point in war, I think it was also quite clear that we will win it. So, since we had such a great start, this was kind of like also a great example of you not being overly stressed, you not being overly pressured. You obviously don't want to die, you don't want to be the guy tarnishing the alliance score, but at the same point it kind of enables you just to have a bit more fun, mess about, maybe don't play with such a big amount of suspense. You just go there, do your fights. So long as you don't die, everything's cool, and you don't have too much to worry about. And we can see that a minute in the fight, that guillotine's at like 51%. I'm not gonna even try to get to my level 3s or anything like that, especially because of those power suppression nodes. I drop a level 1, that crits for like 25k, then a nice 9k crit, another 10k crit. She's pretty much done, and this is also the last fight of the war. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Currently we are sitting very comfortably in master's position. We will not get top 3 for sure, but we're gonna finish somewhere in masters, so that's kind of decent. And yeah, if you liked the war video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Shout out to ISO8A. They did a good job as well, cleared our map, cleared it quite well. But yeah, that is it for now, and see ya.